Hey, Joe. How are you? All right.
Joe's in the pin on us.
We are live a little early today.
You're Bruce.
I am, how are you?
I'm Morgan Shea.
Morgan Chang from our.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're Jeremy.
I am.
Hey, Jeremy. And you're the reporter. I got that. I know those
That's
two
your
strangers.
neighbor.
I know those two strangers. Where's the police at? Oh, sorry.
Yes, you're blind. Good job.
Oh, that's just a case.
Necessary.
You need one too.
Email we got from Water Day, the Robert's rule. Is that something you wrote, or is that?
I have, those are mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I created them.
Rules of order.
Although I never followed
I was just gonna say, that's a contradiction of terms.
Yes, true. Robert's rule. Sorry, no rule.
Feeling
Then we had to do it.
other Robert's rule comes from over there.
Oh, yeah.
Robert's rules.
Jeremy, what are you gonna do with this?
Nothing really, I haven't been here in a while, so I just thought I'd come and check in, make sure I can give you a brief update on where we're at. I don't know if you all have heard anything from EDA, last I heard from the lobbyists, still no word.
Yeah, the only thing, we got something in that email about a different, I guess we were applying, trying to get more money from somebody and they denied us. Then I thought I sent to you, but maybe not. Let me,
Okay.
here,
I'm just gonna take a copy of the whole thing.
here, you can. I don't have code. At least as far as I know.
No, it's today.
It's a good time to be negative.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, if you get a chance, can you forward that to me?
I'll go right now. Now, is that the only money we were trying to get?
Well, we were getting money from SRF,
Yeah, that's,
but we've been kind of holding off, waiting to see what would happen with that. So it sounds like they told us no. So that's not, it's not good, it's not good, but at the same time, it's not the end of the world. It just tells us that we can kind of proceed, I guess, as we were planning. We can talk about that a little more, but yeah, I didn't really have much today. I just was, like I said, I haven't been here in a while, so I just thought I'd show up and say hi.
then the ones that get out of here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jeremy.
Not for the.
No, that's me.
Tom, you don't have to move me anywhere. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
well, he said
I'm here,
put you
I'm
in
here for the duration. so-
He said put you at the end.
Oh, in that case, that's fine. That's fine. Like after the meeting's over and the doors are locked. Consideration of your schedule. You're at the end. Turn the lights off on your way out.
Yeah.
Lock the door too. Yep. We had trouble with that.
You haven't seen anything else?
No. put it.
Amy must have wrote that. Looks like a left-hand handwriting.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Oh, they didn't meet? You guys didn't meet tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, easy. You guys met. Who's president? You again? Suckered you into it again.
Yeah, he was volunteering.
They will meet when we ask them to.
Okay. Is that appointment only,
Yeah.
and they don't have a hierarchy?
Insurance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the overall health insurance.
Yeah, ain't gonna speak to them. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
This one doesn't have any.
It did. No, we already passed it.
Okay.
It did, and then I had her take it off.
Yeah.
7 o'clock. We're ready to go.
Lord, we come before you because we trust that you are in control, that you are sovereign, God of this universe. Pray for our country, in particular for our government situation at the national level. Pray, Lord, for your guidance and direction there. Also, Lord, we pray for the Corn family. Just pray that you bring peace in that sorrowful situation. Lord, pray for your discernment and guidance. Give us your wisdom in the decisions we make tonight, discussions that we have. Pray in Jesus' name.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Steve Rogan.
Here.
Adam Jones.
Here.
Jeff Scott.
Here.
Tammy Sample. Here. Tom Roberts.
All right, it's time for election officers. I'll make a motion that Adam Jones is president of the board.
I'll second that.
Anybody want to make a motion? I'll make a motion to be closed there. Nominations.
Do we need to nominate a vice president?
Not until,
One at a time.
Amy, would you do the roll call?
Steve Rogan.
Yes.
Adam Jones.
Abstain.
Jeff Scott.
Yes.
Tammy Sample.
Yeah.
Tom Roberts.
Yes. I'll keep this seat tonight.
He just likes
Okay, well,
So then you actually could switch places or switch all your stuff, whatever you do. We'll give you the gavel.
Yeah.
You just gave me the gavel.
Yeah, thank you. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Good luck.
Yeah. So, all right, with that being said, I guess we open it back up for nominations for vice president.
I'd like to nominate Tom Roberts as vice president.
I'll second that. Is there, are there any other nominations?
I
Excuse me.
move nomination be closed.
All right. Roll call?
Steve Rogan.
Yes.
Adam Jones.
Yes.
Jeff Scott.
Yes.
Tammy Sample.
Yeah.
Tom Roberts.
Abstain.
Okay, next on the agenda is, I'm gonna skip past that just for a second and go to the department, not reports, but just the department heads. And can I just make a motion that unless anyone objects, that we just keep department heads as they were last year? So I'm gonna make that motion.
It's your appointment. Yeah. So you
If
just
you're
decide.
making appointments, there's. no-
Okay, well, I would just like to keep everything the same as it was last year. There's no need to change any of that. Okay? So, be ready?
Technically, you can ask if there's any objections.
I don't want to ask.
He's not giving anybody a chance to.
Is there any objection, formally, is there any objections to everybody just staying with where they're at, what they're doing? Okay. Let me know when you're good.
We don't have to, it's appointment, so you don't have to
There's no
motion on it.
motion
Okay.
or election. No.
It's basically your appointment.
All right. I missed my appointment. So, on to December's meeting minutes. I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes. The first one would be just a regular town session from December 14th.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, a second?
I'll second.
All right.
Joe Scott,
Yes.
Tom Roberts,
Yes.
Steve Rogan,
Yes.
Tammy Sample,
Yeah.
oh, that's right, she was,
Meeting.
Oh, the rec.
a regular meeting.
No, she was here. for the
Regular
regular
meeting,
meeting.
that one. This is
Yeah,
regular.
regular
And
meeting.
then
Yeah,
She was here for the regular meeting.
yes.
Yeah.
And Adam Jones.
Yes. All right, now I'll entertain a motion to accept the meeting minutes from the special session on December 29th.
I make a motion, we accept the minutes from that special meeting on 29.
I'll second.
Ready? Tammy Sample,
I abstain.
Steve Rogan,
Abstain.
Tom Roberts,
Yes.
Joe Scott,
Yes.
and Adam Jones.
Yes. Good. Okay, financial reports, I know those were sent out, I know this week.
Mhm.
Everybody have a chance to review those?
Yes.
Everybody take a look at 101, the general fund.
It's, I think it's probably the highest it's ever been.
High balance.
This is January, so look at it good.
They're gonna say it's not gonna last long.
No, great way to stay. It's right.
Yeah.
We look at January before, that was January last year. So we're $26,000 above it.
Good.
Okay, and do we have, I can't remember, do we have to accept the financial report? We'll just note it and go on.
No, no.
Okay. Department reports. Sanitation, do you have anything new to report, Joe?
No. No problems, no concerns.
Okay, water?
All I have really is, I think I noted last month that we had our certification, or maybe I didn't, but we did get certified timely with the water audit. First year we ever had to do it. You're certified by Pete Olson in Yorktown. And he's promised to do this every year, free of charge, because it helps him get certified. And so he said, I asked him, I said, is there something we can do to make things better for you? And he said, actually, you guys did great. I know there's a lot of stress from at least the deputy clerk treasurer who
There's
hadn't done this
stress.
before, but I hope now she's
It's
done it.
stress.
She'll be good. And we did have what they call a 48%.
Well, the instructions for doing it are not very clear, so
Yeah.
it'll help as we do it more.
Our water audit data validity score was 48 out of 100, which you may think is not very good, but Pete says that's just fine. He says, because you want to have room to improve. And so he says, you definitely have some areas that you can show improvement easily for this next year. So,
And Tom, if I can, just from an outside perspective, because our company did several of these for different communities throughout the state, that score is excellent.
oh, is it really?
It is excellent. The highest that we had of any of ours was 50.
Oh, wow.
Most of them were well below that.
That's super.
And the thing to think about is a lot of it has to do with, not that you don't have procedures, but they may not be written down. And that tends to subtract everybody's score and keep it low.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, I appreciate those comments. So, is there any questions? I don't really know if I can answer any. If you have any questions about the report, I'll give it to Jeremy. I just know that we got it finished. It was due by January 1st. We have room for improvement, which we want. The score obviously is not too bad at all.
no, not at all.
And I feel pretty good about that.
Okay, moving on to streets.
The guys did get the Christmas decorations down. They have just a couple of things that they're working on in town. One is, on Sixth Street. There is a trailer parked there that has been there for so long that has a tree growing out of the back of it. And then we have on River Road in Sarah, there is some bushes that need to be taken care of. And then going out of the addition on Raintree at 32, the trees are overgrown and they're working on that as well. So,
That is-
You can't see anything there.
I'm trying to picture it on Sarah.
Yeah, I can't picture it. They did a great job with the Christmas decorations, so let them,
Okay.
you guys
Yeah.
are doing that.
We had lots of compliments on it.
I have a question for Penny. The, talking about trees overhanging on, Fifth and Snyder. There's a tree that hangs down and it blocks the view if you're southbound on Snyder from cars coming from the west. It's Mark.
yeah. Fifth and Snyder.
Looper.
What?
Mark Looper.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luther. So, I don't know. If anything be done with this. Not so bad now, but in the summertime when the leaves on it, that really. needs
They
that.
actually did trim them last year, so they must have, we just probably need to do it a little bit more, but I'll let Brad know.
All right, thank you.
Planning and zoning, Jimmy, do you have anything?
No, all we have is election of officers, and I'm the president, and Todd Lewis is the vice president.
On the police side, everybody did receive the year-end report. It's quiet, it's been quiet. COVID presented us with a quiet year, and I didn't anticipate any questions out of this evening, so I asked Jason and James to take the evening off. So I think we're good unless anyone has any questions.
It's James's birthday, so if I can say happy birthday, James.
Happy birthday. Okay.
You're a little bit older now.
Park department?
We elected officers. We kept the slate the same. We do need to, the board needs to reappoint we had one council member whose term term has expired. And I tried to not do it, and I was coerced into doing it again, so. So we need reappointment to the park board, and plus, we would like to request that the term limits or expiration date ends on December 31st of the year before, like all the other boards. Ours are ending like the first Monday in January. So we would like for them to end on December 31st. So technically, my term would have ended December 31st of 2020. So I don't know what we'll do.
Yeah, how do we take care of that, Joe?
I would guess it's gonna be an ordinance. amendment.
I'd have to be an ordinance, probably. I mean, it's probably something we can take care of in the future. It's not. So, but that was a request they wanted me to present.
Okay.
How long the term, how long's the term?
4 years. 4 years. 4 years. Yeah, so, how does that even get resolved? I was wondering the same thing.
What,
So, did we vote for you back on?
it's an appointment. There's no, I'm leaving.
Oh, you're.
Well, my term's up, so I have to be reappointed.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So.
Okay,
then
the general town board makes those
The
appointments?
general town board makes the appointment to the park board.
All right, so you need a motion to,
Well, do we need a motion or we just appoint them?
Yeah,
It's a motion.
it needs to be, yeah, I guess you're just getting reappointed, right?
Yeah, they're just, yeah, well, at least that's their.
I make a motion that we reappoint Amy on the park board.
on a second. No, I was just asking for it.
Okay. And Steve Roden,
Yes.
Adam Jones,
Yes.
Joe Scott,
Yes.
Amy Samples,
Yes.
Tom Roberts.
Abstain. I don't want to vote for anything, it's your honor.
Okay. No, it doesn't make any difference. I don't know what these are just very cool.
Where should vote for him?
Yeah. But I mean, I don't have to vote for him.
The payroll one is grown. There, okay. Okay, so moving on, I know everybody's had a chance to take a look at the payroll report and did everyone take a look at the accounts payable or the claim docket?
Make a motion to approve the claim document.
I'll second.
You can do it all.
Okay, all in favor of the acceptance of the employee payroll and the claim docket?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No, they haven't. Do we have others that have? Yeah, they need to address that then. Oh, yeah.
Your coworker, Morgan?
Morgan.
I was just getting the name.
Adam, just so you know, there's more appointments to other boards that in terms of ran out that need to be appointed. But I don't know if you need time to speak to the people whose terms have expired to see if they want to still serve.
Yeah.
So,
Because last time I got just hung out to dry, so.
because you were at the meeting, so you.
Yeah.
She'll do that.
I was gone that night too.
Yeah.
I wasn't here either. I had nothing to do with
Fire
it.
territory needs to be denied.
Yeah, so if
There
I can
is
just get-
one that needs to be tonight, though, is the fire territory, because I would receive a call about that.
Yeah, you guys appoint the president. Yeah, you do all three. You guys are appointing that.
Right now, it's Adam and Tammy, and then you get your appointment. We have a town appointment.
Tie-breaking appointment, basically.
Okay,
And it's, I mean, it has been you, Tammy, and Bill is who it's been before.
what's that? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So, all right, let's move that up, to the top of, the new business.
Okay.
And, I'm willing to accept a motion that we keep those appointments as they are. So that's me, Tammy, and Bill,
Well,
as long
it
as,
needs to be someone other than Bill. It needs to be 3 council members.
okay, 3 council members.
Oh, it has to be council members?
Are you sure, Bill? Because
That's
it
what
used
I have
to,
here in my notes.
we had Bruce Waters do it when I first started,
Yeah.
because he was
Okay,
outside.
well, in that case, I don't have that agreement with the.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's outside, it's outside, one outside.
Okay, in that case, and worst comes to worst, you just appoint someone outside and then one of the 2 council members serves as that. So,
Yeah,
it's not a big deal.
because, I think it was, they would do it outside of the township. Keep it up there.
Is this a,
Because theirs isn't, yeah.
Is it a general appointment or just a presidential appointment?
As long as Trish sends us an email,
All town
let us know.
But now we have to do it.
Yeah,
I'll make a motion that we, reappoint the fire territory, representatives that we had last year.
Bill's addition? So I
Yeah,
will-
those are new ones for us.
Oh,
He served under the township last year.
Oh, well,
Obviously,
adding
it's
Bill Walters.
so that would be Bill Walters.
Tammy
And
Sample and Adam.
And Adam Jones.
I'll second that.
And I'm waiting for, I'm assuming one of the 4 people watching is Bill or his wife, so I'm just waiting for some chat messages to come through. Okay. Silence is acceptance, so
That's how we handle jurors.
I know.
And vote for that, so Tom Roberts,
Yes.
Joe Scott,
Yeah,
Tammy Sample.
Yeah.
Steve Rogan,
Yes.
and Adam Jones.
Yes. Okay, next on the agenda, Bruce and Morgan
Yes.
from Telamon have a presentation for us. This is a formal presentation regarding the solar project that we discussed at last month's meeting. I've had a chance, Tom's had a chance to take a look at what they're going to be presenting, and I think everyone's going to be pretty excited with the possibilities of what we have in store. So with that being said, hand it off to you guys to wow us.
Thank you, Councilor Jones. I don't know how much we're gonna wow you, but we'll try. Council Roberts, I know you have a very busy agenda, and the tip-off of Alabama, Ohio State is in an hour and 7 minutes. And so we've been asked to keep this less than 10 minutes, which we'll try to do. Therefore, the old teacher in me, I'm an old physics and Latin teacher, and you always start with the assumption that no one knows any Latin on the first day of education. So I always go from the same aspect, no one really knows about solar, but we've included some slides and some information in your packet that briefly goes into the history of solar. I'm not going to spend any time on that in order to stay on schedule. If you want to move on to how solar arrays create electricity, is the same thing. Again, obviously, we use about 20 to 22% of the sun's energy and convert that into a direct current basis. And then we use a piece of equipment called an inverter that changes the electricity from direct current to alternating current, which is how we in the United States and now 98% of the world, we use the electricity as it goes. Why solar? The biggest thing there is the solar increase in the last 9 years. the cost to install solar has gone down 33%. So therefore, it's at a point now where it's cost effective to make that changeover and offset your electrical costs. We still advocate that you still buy some electricity from utilities and not be 100% off the grid as it's called. But the cost has come down to the point, also you have different federal credits, et cetera, for financing options. Indiana regulations due to Senate Bill 309 that was passed 3 years ago. We have a very specific rules that we must follow under the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission. No project can be more than a megawatt. We have a change in net metering, which is for net metering from now, as long as you're installed during this calendar year, basically. You get 100% retail net metering for the next 10 years until 12/31/32. After that, in 2033, you still get credit for what electricity you put back into the utility system, but it's at wholesale rate plus 25%. So, and right now, utilities in Indiana are buying them for power for about 4 cents a watt. So you get about 5 cents a watt credit starting in 2033. In your case, everything will be paid off by then. PPAs, which is a power purchase agreement, are not allowed in Indiana. All of the states around us do allow them, but they're not, and there is no limit. If we talk to Ball State, or if we talk to an auto dealer that uses 25 megawatts a day in power, if you go behind the meter, there's that 1 megawatt limit is not involved. So that's the only change there. There are 3 types of arrays. You have a ground mount, which is the most economically feasible. You have a canopy mount, which we just put in. Our first canopy is up and running at IU down in Bloomington. And the second most common is the roof mount, which 3 of your projects would be proposed to be roof mounts. 1 is proposed to be a ground mount. Here's just a list. One of the first things when Representative Councilor Jones called me was, is Daleville too small of a town? Do you work in a town this size or not? I wanted to show you very briefly. Obviously, there are several cities and towns listed here that are smaller than Daleville. We do have 2 large projects coming in. One is on board in the last month in Carmel, and another one will be on board in February in Carmel. But you can see from this list, the size of the city does not make a difference to us whatsoever. Then the next page is the list of the actual clients we've worked for inside of those cities, which again, I'll just let you read those at your perusal. So that goes into, that's the background of us. We've been around since 1985. We've been in the solar business for 12 years now. If you've ever flown out of the Indianapolis airport, that 20 megawatt project is the world's largest airport solar project, and that was our project. It was our first project also 11 years ago. So, but it's up and running and doing very well. The other advantage of solar, because we get asked this all the time as compared to wind, it's true. The wind blows at night and the solar and the sun does not come out at night. We're not making as much power when there's wind blowing. But with solar, the systems now are warranted for 25 years. They will last for 35 years. There's really no maintenance with them. We've had it on top of our roof at our company for 12 years now. We've never touched it. So there's no maintenance cost, whereas others have quite a bit of maintenance cost. So if we go next into the actual 4 sites that we are proposing, and we met with Brad and Adam on 2 or 3 times. I've been up to meet with them to look at locations, etc. This first one is out of the water company, and or out of the water tower, I'm gonna call it. You have, it's kind of hard to see, once you go to page 3, Morgan. Yeah, right there. We originally designed it to be here. And after meeting with Brad, you've got a water line that runs through here, down here to the power building. And so we've moved it over to the other side of the road. This one is the largest of the 4 sites we're proposing. What, these half pages for an old man?
They got full copies of them.
Okay, good. This is proposed to be 140 kilowatts DC. Total cost for this project is anticipated $227,000. These are all estimated prices, and I'll get into why it's an estimated price now. Here's the important page for each of the 4 sites. The initial outlay of cash is here. The amount of electricity that we generate and the offset are the next 2 columns. The cash flow is you started obviously your cost and you subtract the savings of electricity over the years. And then your cumulative run, which shows at the bottom that by spending $227,000, you'll save your community $720,000 after you pay for the system over the life of the solar array of 35 years.
So
Very bottom.
before you leave that, Bruce,
Sure.
the break even, if I'm looking right, is right about 11 years, 12 years.
This one is 11 years, yes. And at the bottom is the important thing. If you took the $227,000 and invested it at the bank, this would be equivalent to getting 9.23% return on your investment. In this case, Mike, our design team, our engineers, have designed this one to be 100% usage. And that's important out there because a water tower, that water tower uses the same amount of electricity week after week after week after week over every year. So we're looking at the total average usage, and he's designed this to meet that total usage. In the summertime, and that's why the net metering is important. In the summertime, when the sun is brighter, we're going to produce more power than you're going to use. That power is sent back into the utility company's grid, and you get full retail credit. So right now you are paying 9 cents per kilowatt hour for power at that site. You'll get 9 cents back for every watt you put in. In the wintertime, we're not going to create as much power as you use, and you burn those credits in the wintertime. So theoretically, what the engineers have calculated here is over the year's time, you'll be net zero. You'll have the credits during the wintertime that you'll burn, and you'll earn the credits during the summer. Okay, so that's the first of the 4 sites that we've been asked to design. The second site is this building. Again, you have 3 separate roofs. The reason why these prices are all estimated is that this roof is 19 and a half years old, or 18 and a half years old. And so we're gonna have to replace the roof before you can put solar on top of it, which you have to replace the roof now if the life of the roof is passed. This section of the roof on the far west end, I call it the salt building, but I don't know what you all call it, but it's already a metal roof, so it's ready and it's relatively new. The main part of it is here. That would have to be changed over, as well as your entry part of the building. We are part of the building we're in right now. Okay. Again, if you go back to the 4th page, the cost to do this size is 58 kilowatts DC. The cost is just over $100,000. The ITC and the tax rates, etc., obviously, a municipal town does not pay taxes. So therefore, you don't get the ITC credit, which is the incentive tax credit, which is a federal program that allows you to offset the cost of putting in solar. But since you don't pay taxes, you don't get the ITC credit. This payoff in years is year 7. And that's because you're paying 15 cents per kilowatt hour for power here, which I won't say anything else other than to state the fact you're paying 15 cents, but that's pretty high. And this return on investment is 12.66%. And again, we've got this one at 100%, which I want to spend, if the council decides to really take this forward, I really want to look at the electrical usage of this building anticipated once new town hall is opened up. Because the back part of the building, whatever electricity is used now will still be used years from now. This part, in the police department, the manpower in these two parts of the building are gonna move over to the new building. So the question is, will these lights be on less than they are now? Hopefully, in the winter time like this, if this is an unoccupied room, you got it narrowed down to that 60, 62 degree time, and you bring it back up and people are gonna be in here to use it as the community center. And then during the summertime, you leave it at 78 degrees or so, and then bring it back down only when people are occupied. So right now, this one is at 100%. We may want to look at that and lower that a little bit, so that we're in that 80, 85% range once new town hall is opened up and we're ready to go.
Before you leave here, I just want to make sure everybody understood that the plans, we have to plan on having a new roof anyway.
Yeah.
So that's not, just, that's cost we have, we'll have to absorb.
Yeah, we originally had a new roof at about $8 a square foot included in our estimates, but we're solar people, we're engineers, and we take care of solar. We don't do roofs, and that's RQAW and people like that that do that. And so you can use local people and hire local people to do that part. The third one is the splash park. The restroom, pump room, concession stand, the standalone building out here. This one is very small, but obviously a splash park and a pool are perfect for solar. Because when do you use them? When are they open? When the sun's out, and when it's the hottest during the summer is when the solar's in. So this is a small project of only 6 kilowatts. Total cost is $14,000. The 14,500. The return on investment is 9 years, and the rate of return is 11.41%. And here, we really don't know what percent of the power we're going to utilize for it. It's probably in that 35 to 40%, but it may even be less than that. Okay? The last one is we've worked diligently with RQAW, your designer of new town hall. We have looked here at putting, based on the square footage they gave us, on top of the new second floor roof only. And where you see the purple is where we would propose solar panels go in. That yellow is their track area going through, and also it looks weird with the layout. But that's because of HVAC system, air handlers, everything else that's going to be on the rooftop we designed around. The National Electrical codes require us to have an 8-foot clear walkway between a solar panel and anything else on top of the rooftop. So this one comes in, it's not a big one, but it's 33 kilowatts. We anticipated, because I&M would not make the commitment to us yet, but we anticipated your cost to power or electrify that building is the same as electrifying this building at 15 cents per kilowatt hour. That's an estimate at this point. We don't know, and I&M won't even begin to look at what that cost is going to be. And the total usage, we don't know until the building's open and running over a period of time as to how much power you need, so I can't give you an idea of a percentage. On the last page is accumulation then. If you add everything up together, this total project at the 4 sites is 234.5 kilowatts DC. The estimated cost, and again, it's estimated because of 2 things. One, we don't know when the roof is going to be replaced on this building. If it's replaced during the summer, we think we're pretty close on our cost. The other thing is we don't know when RQAW is going to release the second floor roof for us to design and actually put in the solar on the new building. So we don't know what the prices are actually going to be 6 months from now or even 9 months from now. But the estimated cost is $415,000. Your return on investment, again, this is estimated for spending $415,000. The community will see a savings of $1,606,000 over the life of the solar array.
And that's not including potential 25%.
We were notified. I'm glad you brought that up. Under the financing options, There's been a DOE 25% match for municipalities. When COVID 2 was just passed, we all got our $600 deal. The ITC credit was supposed to reduce in 22 from 26% down to 22%, and 23 from 22% down to 10%. Instead, they left the ITC credit at 26% for 21 and 22, and notified us there's not going to be a grant program, at least today. Maybe a grant program later, so I can't say that we're gonna have a 25% match for sure or not, we just don't know. So. Total cost.
That's out now, right, Bruce? I mean,
Pardon me?
as of now. 'cause you
That's
said-
as of today.
Okay, so. yeah, March
April, May,
31st.
June, we have no idea. The state legislature is looking at helping municipalities with solar also, but we will know, it's a long session, so we're not gonna know until the end of April on it. So, the timing is important for you to consider. I&M, the part of the IURC regulations, there's a maximum limit they have to do on net metering, which in I&M's case is 2%, they're at 1.6% usage right now. So we have a 4%, 0.4% window to apply for net metering, which in your case is really important. So we know we're good until April, May, June for sure. But if you're seriously interested in this, we would suggest that we get at least more serious on it pretty quickly. Mr. Retz, you may know better than I called two attorneys that are friends of mine in Indy and said, okay, where do I go in order to make sure, in Council Roberts' case, he wanted to keep this at less than a total of 500 grand, a possible bond. And so I was told to plan on 20% for the CPA, the bond attorney, the bank.
That's out now.
Okay, forget that.
The bond's out.
Okay, forget that what I just said.
Plus 20% a little aggressive. I mean, lawyers like their money, but 20%,
A little high.
usually 10% is a good estimate.
Okay,
And
so,
all the other people,
I was told today about 75 grand.
well, that puts you right at the
yeah.
20% then. So anyway, that's the total, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have, and I hope I stayed close to the 12 minutes, it looks like, I apologize.
Does anyone have any questions?
After 35 years, that happens.
You have
We have,
Clerk Treasurer, you have a degradation of 0.4% per year. So we say after 20 years, you're gonna degrade 8%, which is the column you have on that page 4 of each of the 4 sites. Where the amount of electricity slightly decreases every year. It goes down because we've already figured that degradation in your total output. So the important thing, and I can't see, Morgan, which one you have up, but,
This one is the new town hall.
okay. So on, go back on one of the first two, would you please?
Yes,
Amazing.
right now I'm on the splash pad.
We'll go back one before that,
This one is this building right here.
okay? So, enrollment, what we're saying is we're gonna start producing year one 76,645 kilowatt hours of power. After 35 years, we're still gonna produce 66,881 kilowatt hours. The point we're saying at 30, they're warranted for 25 years, they're gonna last for 35 years. But at 35 years from now, we're using a 425 watt panel. When I started with the company 8 years ago, we were at a 250 watt panel was the common one. So we've increased that. 35 years from now, is it gonna be a 1,000 watt panel or a 2,000 watt panel? Will it make sense 35 years from now to replace those panels with a new, more efficient? I'm not gonna be around 35 years from now, so I can't even begin to answer that question. So,
There's also reasonable expectation of efficiency, lighting and things like that will have improved and
Right.
possibly our overall use is lower.
Yes, sir.
My brother-in-law has a solar panel. Every 3 or 4 months, he's got to adjust it.
That's a agricultural application.
It's out, he owns 80 acres, but his is in his yard.
That is a gentleman that is a friend of mine out of Rochester, Indiana, is where he bought that system. He's patented that system. It's a low-cost way of manually changing the angle of the panel as the seasons change.
Yeah.
Okay? On a rooftop, that's not available. The rooftop, because of the wind loads that come through, and we figured that with the National Weather Service, and we have all these charts the engineers have to look at. We have to anchor and we have to angle the panels based on what the wind load is at the height of the roofs. So on the ground mount, the only thing that is available would be out at the water tower. For 140 kilowatts, you would have 2 men for probably 2.5 weeks manually every 3 months, changing the angles of those. And so there is an electronic way of doing it. It's called we have a 5-horse motor that moves them around. There's called a single phase that angles to the east in the morning when the sun comes up, and it follows the sun during the day. They're about 22% higher in cost, and the output is only about 14%. So plus every 5 years, that 5-horse motor goes out and you got to replace it. So right now we're recommending these fixed panel systems for these larger systems.
He does this by hand.
Yeah, he does it by hand, yeah.
How is the ground mount like protected as far as enclosed or?
You have and that's one of it's included in the estimates right now, Tammy. We included by the National Electric Codes a separate 84-inch fence around every solar array on the ground. In your case out there, you already have the entire property is already fenced. They had to unlock a lock and open the gate for me to get in to see it even. So we would go to the Delaware County permitting agency, and your electrical codes will tell us if we have to have a separate fence around the fence, or if we're okay and save you about 12, 14 grand and not have to fence inside of the fence. The other thing we do is a little bit different. We use local electricians to install for us. It's over $150,000, and so we have to publicly bid the work itself. And so we are the same as you hired R2AW to design your building, our engineering firm to work with your utilities and water department, et cetera. Last thing is we have sample contracts, which I was asked to bring tonight too, for the council to consider. I've included them in your packet just to review. And Mr. Esquire, I will apologize, I brought 5 copies for the town council only. If you have a card with you, I can get it to you in the morning.
I can do
Okay.
one of our copies.
Out of curiosity, at the water plant site, I know the town has a lot of property there.
Yes.
How, so you've shifted it to get it out of the water main. How flexible is your pricing versus where that array goes on that property?
We moved it fairly close because it's about $20 a linear foot to run the electrical line. For the further away it is from the use, which the pump building's on the far southwest corner of the property, and that's where we would run the electricity to. So we can go farther north, we can go in one of the.
Well, the only thing I'm thinking about is I don't know what kind of clearances zoning wise you have to have around it. And if we tuck it in the northern corner up against the railroad, maybe that's better. I'm just thinking out loud. You can totally ignore me.
We looked at that option, and we have to have so many feet of clearance. And they're the northern, I forget what well number that is, the well number where that second one is, and there's a possibility of a third one down the road. So when meeting with Brad, he picked the location and had us move it.
That's fine. I'm thinking out loud.
Right,
So-
I appreciate that.
And that spot that's in the diagram falls outside of the 200-foot radius from the wellhead.
Right, of the 2 wellheads.
So I do have a follow-up question. How modular is the system? And where I'm going with that is, like you had mentioned about the usage here at this building could possibly drop. But I could also anticipate the usage at Newtown Hall increasing, especially if down the line, we jump on the bandwagon and start going with electrical vehicles, and we'd like to be able to charge those. And it seems like a no-brainer to be able to charge them essentially for free.
Sure, right, absolutely, and we're doing that statewide right now. It's, you're gonna run about $4,800 to $5,000 per charging station, and once they're in, that's your total cost for the whole time. So, they're modular, except the square footage of your roof limited. We have this one maxed out at the 33 or 37 kilowatts, whatever it was. We're using all the square footage of the roof itself. The other thing we can do though is put canopy where the police cars are gonna park along the railroad tracks in the back. We could install canopy and charge those charging stations there through that matter.
If needed, we could move some from here.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. I think that's,
Possibly use the salad for it.
yeah, exactly. You
Absolutely.
absolutely decided for it.
Mhm.
Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Thank you all very much. We'll get out of
Thank you.
here.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good evening.
Well, just like what, like a, maybe a motion to, for some type of intent to proceed?
What, contingent probably on finance.
Yes.
I'll make that motion. Is that what you heard? I'm excited about this, so I'll make a motion to contingent on proceeding, contingent on finding financing. There's a couple ideas beyond the bonding. The bonding could be done, but we don't want to go that way.
Okay. But does anyone have any discussion, any concerns? Okay, is there a second to Tom's motion?
I'd second it.
Waiting on me, aren't you?
No, we're waiting on the computer.
Okay. Proceeding with the Telamon project, depending on financing, basically, what the motion was. Mr. Roberts,
Mr. Roberts.
Was that your-
The motion was to make a
proceed.
motion to proceed with the intent to proceed with this agreement contingent on financing.
Okay, that's what I got. Okay. Steve Rogan,
Yes.
Joe Scott,
Yes.
Tammy Stample.
Yeah.
Tom Robert,
Yes.
and Adam Jones.
Yes.
Councilwoman, Mr. McAvoy, we've got some banks that would love to offer some financing options to you, if you have that.
That'd be fine. Yeah, we're looking at another option that may be better than that even, so we'll see how that goes. So,
Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much.
thank you. Be careful on the way home.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the list, Jeremy, we'll go ahead and move you up.
So just want to say hi, Happy New Year to everybody. I haven't been here for a bit, so things have been pretty quiet, but had been waiting to hear from, I'm referencing our stormwater project. I've been waiting to hear with regard to our application to the EDA for a grant so that we can try to expand the scope of that. It appears that we've heard and that we, unfortunately, doesn't sound like we've received it. So with that in mind, I'll go back and probably will get with you. And I guess even though Adam, you're the president, it sounds like you all have kept the liaisons the same, if I'm understanding correct. So if the board's okay, it sounds like I'll continue to coordinate with Tom then. Yeah, okay. And so Tom will get with you and we'll figure out if we want to go ahead and just move forward with the scope we have, or if we need to, or if we're going to make any additional considerations. I know there were some other developments and things, so I want to, before I just say go whole hog, I want to definitely check with you to make sure there's nothing else has changed as far as priorities. Otherwise, we had that area on East Main Street that we had added a while back. We've got plans put together on that. I'm actually pretty pleased with those. They apparently, according to the original plat, there is actually some easements between those homes that we can utilize without having to go and get new easements. Now, whether or not the homeowners agree with that or not, I guess is a bit of a question, but we have the plat that says that that's the case.
Well, they can either do it or else they don't have storm drainage, is what I'm feeling.
Now, what it'll do though is there is still going to be one spot that will need to get another easement, so I'll need to get that put together, but otherwise, I think we're pretty close, so we should be able to.
Have you got the rest of the easements signed up on it?
I'm gonna check with Amy, I suspect that we're still missing 4 or 5, that was one thing I wanted to do.
We had a few people just rush right in and do it, and then
Nothing, right? So I wanna get with Amy and make sure where we're at on that, and,
I don't know how you're gonna approach that, do we need to go door to door, or what do we do?
I don't know, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
But, yeah, so we should be able to move forward on that here pretty quick. So, and I know SRF's been asking about it, so I know we're ready to jump on it once we're ready. I think that's it.
All right, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Jamie? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, bear with me for a second, I'm trying to get up to speed. Is this resolution
That's the decorum.
2021, this is the decorum for public
Joey
meetings
made some
where,
adjustments to it, I think, to make it up to date.
is this still the, where you have to sign in to speak?
Correct. It's all the same as last year, except I added something that specifically adopts Robert's Rules of Order as opposed to just references it. Because you guys use Robert's Rules of Order anyway, so it just clarifies, it's nothing too substantive though. Everything else is the same.
Then this is the emergency resolution. Remember the equipment, the fire department.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking this way. Okay. Just deal with the first one first, and then, okay, so I will entertain a motion for resolution 2021-41.
I don't know how the rest of the approvals, so we got.
Okay, while he's reviewing, we'll go ahead and discuss ordinance 2021-01, and that revolves around the use of town vehicles, primarily vehicles
Equipment.
and or equipment in the event of an emergency. As an example, if a tree should happen to fall on a home or a power line or something like that, we can authorize the use of that equipment by town personnel to alleviate a situation that's not safe, life-threatening, those along those lines. What this does not cover would be the use of town equipment for personal use that is non-emergency.
That just is not allowed, period.
It's already in the.
Now, this happened in the summer with Trina's house. A tree fell on top of it, and it's a danger to a family, and the fire department actually called, did they call you, Adam, or call Brad?
Both.
And asked if they could use our backhoe to get the tree off the roof before it fell through the house. And so we approved that for an emergency, and of course, Joe warned us that we probably ought to get something formal so that we don't risk something there, so. That's a little background.
Yeah, and I think the analogy is in the event of, say, a tornado or other severe weather coming through the town, we would obviously do everything we could to resolve any situations like that. So I fully support that as well. So I'll obviously also look for a motion for ordinance 2021-01.
Which one do you want to do first?
Well, we introduced the resolution first.
Okay. I'll make a motion that, now we have to introduce this?
It is a resolution or ordinance.
I'm sorry.
Is it?
Meeting rules is a resolution, the policy change is an ordinance.
He's got the resolution.
Okay, resolution, you can just adopt.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution 2021-01 on the decorum. It's basically an amendment to I think last year's.
Yeah, I think it's
Document.
December 2019.
Yeah, okay, 4 years ago.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion regarding the resolution? Okay. Then I guess we'll do an entertained roll.
Steve Rogan,
Yes.
Tom Roberts,
Yes.
Amy Sample,
Yes.
Joe Scott,
Yes.
Adam Jones.
Yes, sorry. I'm doing the exact opposite of the chess game. I have like 3 steps back.
Now that it's not the ordinance, they've got to do three. They can only do it for three.
Yeah, you guys will introduce the ordinance tonight, but you can adopt it as well if you'd like, however, you have to suspend
Yeah,
the rules.
if you go through the whole suspending rules thing, you know, how we did it,
If we feel comfortable, you know.
it's up to you guys.
I make a motion that we introduce ordinance 2021-01, amending chapter 33 of the town of Delaware. I'm not going to go.
Bypass the rules and something like that, and let us, within the next 30 days, there is some type of,
This first, and then
Then we can
basically, we can, yes, we can make this.
Who wants to piece it up? And we gotta get it introduced first.
yeah, let's do
Now
that.
let's- Did
I'll
anybody
second-
second
I'll
that?
second that.
Okay, any discussion?
Okay, Tom Roberts,
Yes.
Steve Rogan,
Yes.
Amy Sample,
Yes.
Joe Scott,
Yes.
Adam Jones.
Yes.
Okay, so I make a motion that we
Suspend the rules.
suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2021-01 to amend chapter 33 of the ordinance.
You can just say suspend the rules, because you're gonna have to do a separate vote to adopt the ordinance.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Suspend
The
the rules.
motion is suspend the rules.
You made the motion?
Yes.
I'll second that.
Now, if it's not unanimous, then we have to wait till next month to pass it.
Okay. So do you have to vote to suspend the rules first?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, now we're gonna vote to suspend the rules to adopt,
You can say suspend the rules.
to suspend the rules for ordinance 2021-01. Steve Rogan,
Yes.
Tom Roberts.
Yes.
Amy Sample.
Yes.
Joe Scott
Yes.
and Adam Jones.
Yes.
Who would want to? You want to finish it? Make a motion to pass? Sorry, Dan.
I'll make a motion to pass ordinance number 2021-01.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion?
No.
Maybe it's worth pointing out one thing, so you talked about the emergency thing. The important thing to note with this is anything that's gonna happen still requires at least 2 council members to approve it before it happens. So even if there's a question about whether or not it's an emergency, also like 3 people are gonna have to decide that it is. I'd like to think that of those 3 people, you know, there'll be an adequate system of checks and balances in place so that it's not gonna be, you know, the rules won't be skirted by anybody.
Right, I can't just decide something is an emergency
Correct.
and moving forward.
Yeah.
So it takes 2 council members.
It takes 2 council members, yep.
All right, that's good.
Ready?
Yep.
Tom Roberts.
Yes.
Steve Rogan.
Yes.
Amy Sample.
Yes.
Joe Scott
Yes.
and Adam Jones.
Yes. Okay, are you ready to move on, Amy?
Yes.
Okay, well, the next one is you, I believe. I think you can speak best to this, would be a refresh or an updating us
Health
on the health insurance quote.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know I sent the quotes to everyone. And just last week, we got the final quote from Billy at North Point. And it was another still with Anthem, so it keeps our network the same, but it actually is less money than we're paying this year.
Is it the
monthly.
same
The
coverage?
only difference is that, well, actually, right now, after our deductible, we pay 20%. And with this one, we actually, after you clear your deductible, you pay 0%. So it's actually better in that respect. I mean, I don't get my deductible, but,
Right.
and I think
What is
Frida
it?
did this year.
What is
Because
the
she had a baby. $4,000. Now, there were other plans in there. I mean, I don't wanna, that was the one that's the closest to the ones we were quoted. I mean, you can go, I mean, I'm a $500 deductible, but it's $10,000 a month, so I didn't think that would be one we'd want to do. But anyway, I thought this was really good, and we actually, I got, if whatever we approve tonight, our insurance team will be here Thursday, getting everybody signed up and everything in place, so.
Okay.
Did you mention that this is a chamber? It's a different kind of health insurance. It's still Anthem, but we're joining a chamber group.
Yes, but it is not a trust.
It's not a trust, but it's a healthy group.
The only way you
You
could get
actually
into this
qualify.
is if you were healthy.
Yeah.
So if we did not have healthy employees, they did not let you in.
And so that's why the
So
rate is
that's
so
how,
good.
that's why the rate is so good.
And there was a one-time fee.
We pay a one-time fee, of $499. And we pay a monthly fee, which is $4 per employee. But even with all those fees, we still are lower than what we're paying now. So,
So I make a motion, we pass this one, whatever that is. Actually,
wait a minute.
this is the chamber plan.
What's,
46 QE.
No, it's, but they would get left after.
I just went under the impression at one point, didn't we have something about the spouse coverage cost? That we would only pay a certain
We only
percentage.
pay 75%.
Yeah.
Does that
I read through it.
75% of the spouse's premium?
We still pay 75%. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I just
It
thought,
continues.
so every so often that decreased to get,
We're kind of leaving at 75 right now. We haven't determined to decrease it anymore. We can always consider that. We wanted to tonight or whatever. 75%, we were going to leave it at 7.
I just
Oh.
remember from when
I looked, are you asking about decreasing
the
the,
spouses,
I found back in 20 minutes from 2018 or 2017, the council had adopted a plan to reduce it down. They haven't exactly followed that plan. I think they've gone year to year as to whether they're, like, we've been stuck at 75% for spouses for a while. I think it was supposed to be cut to 50% and then 25%. I dug up those minutes just because I was looking for something else and I found that. And then also the HSA was going to be increased as well. But the point of the HSA in the beginning with the council was we had a $33,000 deductible. They were trying to cover the deductible for the employee. Well, our deductible keeps going up, so we're not raising, they haven't raised the HSA. The HSA is at $2,500 right now. So, I mean, it's,
So when it was originally adopted, there wasn't any schedule established in terms of reducing. It would just said that they're.
that's what they would like to see. It's in the minutes as
As
the years of what they were going, as they could. And of course, I mean, I'm sure the intent was how is the year going and how they,
So I guess my motion still stands the same, because I think that with the health insurance being lower, I think we can afford to keep it the way it is. I guess that's my motion still, is to pass the plan 46QE.
Was that ever seconded?
No.
I'll second.
I'm trying to get the plan in here.
Sorry.
The
Yeah,
official name of the plan is CHA, MeWall, Blue Access, PPO, 4,000, 5,000, what they just say, Blue Access.
so is there any other further discussion regarding the
Yeah, I
insurance?
have a question. It's part of the reason that we're saving money, because when I have 2 employees in the garage, but where last year we had 3.
No, because we had 2 full-time employees and 1 part-time employee, and we do not insure our part-time employees. They do not have health insurance. So the only people who are insured are eligible for health insurance is full-time employees. According to our guide.
That's all I had.
How does it work, Amy, if you have an employee that is not healthy?
I don't know. I don't know what would happen. I mean, we're evaluating, every year we have to bid out. So each year, we are asked for forms, we fill out, and everyone fills out,
I just wonder, like.
their condition of their health. Yeah, like if
Obviously,
you-
everybody's gonna get older and they're
Right.
either a
Yeah.
heart attack. or
I'm assuming,
diabetes.
the way because I really wondered,
I know.
you
that
just
that's
lie on
the
here and
plan
say you're
works.
not, not that you're supposed to, if you're supposed to list, they have certain questions they ask and everyone fills out a form and then, the group that's doing our, from North Point
Enrollment.
Insurance with Colonial that does our whole, they take our forms and then submit them and try to find the best. Because the first one, of course, was a 9% increase and this one is 0% increase.
I don't want to derail the intent for this year. This is just the last thing before we go to a vote, but I'm hoping we can look into the possibility of getting into like a larger group medical plan. Through.
Well, that's what I think happened with this.
Okay,
We ended up in a larger group. We got grouped with a larger group. That's why,
okay, then that explains the
Makes it
exception.
good for us, yeah. That's what
Okay.
made the difference.
Also, they're going to move our date to October.
yeah, oh yes, that is true. Like, right now, for some reason, our date is February, so our new renewal date is gonna be October. So basically, we'll run this from February to October and then we'll renew.
Which helps with budgeting.
Yes.
Which means that we'll go through this all again, and it could be this plan next year or this company, or it could not.
October, actually.
Well, I think we're good. We ready for the vote?
Tom Roberts,
Yes.
Tammy Stample,
Yes.
Jill Scott,
Yes.
Steve Rogan,
Yes.
Adam Jones.
Yes. Right, next item on the agenda is an amendment to the salary ordinance. How much detail do I need to go into?
I messed up on the ordinance. If you want me to do it, basically, we left the HS, basically, we pay, give Jason Hicks the opportunity to bow out of the insurance. We give every employee the opportunity, but he's the one who picks it. And we in the past paid him half of the amount. It's because we're saving. And so we decided this year, basically, we negotiated with us $125. Instead of being half the amount, it's gonna be $125 flat amount for pay, which is
Lower.
better. It helps us out more.
But it needs to be rewritten into the
Right.
salary, and we have not done that yet, is that correct?
Correct. I can fix that.
Okay.
Just, I'll make a motion that we change the salary ordinance to $125 instead of the half.
One second.
Any discussion?
I don't, does that mean that it's about the same price that he gets back,
He
or?
would have got 160 something, so we're saving some money. Because we're actually, I think we're gonna end up leaving that program soon.
Yeah.
We're gonna put it in, so.
Okay, I think that's it, unless there's any other discussion.
Do we have a second on that?
Joe did.
Our boys are going, those famous here. Tom Roberts,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yeah.
Steve Grogan,
Yes.
Tammy Stample,
Yeah.
and Adam Jones.
Yes. Okay, next
This
on
meeting,
the agenda,
Sorry, this is my son is ready to be picked up at the basketball game, and we have to run.
Oh, wait, hey, let me text Jake.
you can't stand around anymore.
Yeah, we didn't make arrangements tonight.
well, this meeting's running long. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. We're close.
Okay, what's next?
All right, we gotta abbreviate the rest of this. Zoning ordinance discussion. Steve?
Just really, really quick, we are looking at, revamping our ordinances. We're asking the planning and zoning board, as well as BZA and town council, to review a red line document that will indicate changes to the present, ordinances and eliminate some pieces that are redundant or no longer in use. So that will be sent out tomorrow by Joe, my understanding, we talked, and asking for people to comment. My recommendation is that people look at this, consider it as if we are establishing a whole new set of ordinances. It's a brand new set of ordinances, but as you review it, I would recommend just reviewing the red line piece of it. Because it would take you about less than an hour probably to do that. So we're gonna tackle this thing and get it done. So I'm introducing that and for folks to review, the planning and zoning board has 60 days. Then to submit what we would call it, not a recommendation, but a
Yeah, the plan commission will make their recommendation.
recommendation, okay?
So right now, all you're really doing is effectively making a motion to require the plan commission to initiate the process. And then once you do that, they'll have 60 days to go through their whole shindig and then make their recommendation to you guys.
Okay.
So I'm making a motion that we have the planning and zoning board begin the process of establishing a new set of ordinances.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Well, this is gonna be quick. Okay, next is Delaware County Regional Wastewater.
I would just send everybody the update that Jason provides each month, and you guys can review. Not a big deal, just routine stuff.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, unless there's any other.
One more.
Yep.
Sorry, Tom.
As everybody knows, Heritage Bank is talking about falling out of Delaware.
They are, definitely.
They are falling out of Delaware. And I've been approached by citizens, is there anything the town board can do to try to attract another bank?
We're gonna try.
I was told that when this bank come in, the town board had input on trying to get it in.
We can definitely entertain it, I mean, if there's a
Oh,
bank.
I would be all
that's
for it because this completely changes our whole banking.
Oh, yeah, that's what these people told me, so.
One time there was a bank, a couple of years ago, that was interested in being across the, that same period, that moved.
Right.
But they backed out, so maybe they are interested, we'll let that right now, so.
Okay.
No,
Bring it up, brought it up.
Yes, Joe, we will do anything we can. So, yeah, with that being said, let's get a motion to adjourn. Any discussion on adjournment?
We're out.
Thank you.
Tom, go get him and all.
What?
You go get him.
Yeah, wait, before you leave, we find it.
Bye, Tammy.
Bye. Hey, I'll talk with you soon.
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate
I
it.
don't know how we go about.
My food load for me, so.
I don't know how this